value around what we're doing and make sure that we're charging our potential clients a fair amount, so that we're really giving luxury services basically by combining our strength and by bringing this group together as basically a group of professionals or an agency, and maybe even tapping into our network more, into other weavers networks, and bringing in more like specific professionals according to a certain task or a certain client. Lauren, what do you think? How we can like go about putting together like a list of services? Is it like dancing from our skill sets and our backgrounds?
Yeah, I think it would be important for everyone to kind of assess their different skills and what they can offer. Like I just put together, I was collaborating with somebody and pitching a project for my friend's company, and on one of the slides, we actually had like the different aspects of the project, and like both of us were on like different lines, and we wrote down for each of the different aspects of our project like what our skills were and what we could contribute to that, which was a very interesting exercise. But I think if we were to do some kind of mapping of our skill sets, that might help us be able to tie in where, depending on the type of work and what we're offering, where a few of us can be matched together to be able to like work on projects together based on those skills. So yeah, I think it would be good for us to kind of do a little assessment and inventory of all of our skills, so we can
Yeah,
kind of get a lay of the land and have an understanding too of our backgrounds. Because even though I do sort of know everybody in the call, I don't know everything about everyone on the call.
totally.
And I know, like, yeah, I mean, homework wise, of course, we can all like look at each other's LinkedIn profile and like see if there's like chronologically all the different work that we've done and projects that we've done.
Yeah.
But then we were also kind of talking about, like we're saying, value and pricing. And I think that it would be important for us to kind of do a little think through of the different type of clientele that we can work with. And I think that we should definitely tier our offerings, because I think, I mean, if you don't mind, if I share what we were saying earlier, like, I mean, we could be pitching this to like governments, like to really get out our offerings to clientele that maybe we not aren't wouldn't necessarily be like our normal base that we could like offer such weaving services to. And I think it's an opportunity. Like if we're talking about like how do we break out of silos, that also includes us breaking out of the typical people in the regenerative ecosystem,
Yeah.
where we're like working with like Erasmus Plus or EU Commission or UN, like I don't know, but like I think that there could be something really valuable that we could put together, as a and I'm thinking through too of like maybe also having our thinking about like what could be the potential outcomes from our work, so we have a sense of like, obviously we understand the values of weaving, but thinking about like what that's going to make available to people who haven't had access to these types of services in the past, and what it can make possible for the work that we're trying to actually kind of move forward in the world.
I like it. Like envisioning what
I think.
our work can bring. Really, what can it change or create within the existing systems, and with that vision in mind, we can start pitching it to organizations, even government organizations, even VCs, anyone who has access to large budgets. Um, yeah, I think it makes sense, like going for higher price point type of like luxury, as I call it, like still luxury offerings, because of the kind of like unique combination of skill sets, and because of the net worth of our network. Net worth
Mhm.
meaning net worth for the regenerative of the earth purposes. Like it's about yeah, it's about balance, really. It's about understanding that non-for-profit organizations um, are kind of our way maybe towards where we're at, but now we're gonna have to build and bring that bring that bridge together, right? Like make sure that bridge is there between the nonprofit world and the commercial for-profit world, and even maybe the governance world, to make those connections.
Mhm.
What do you think is like needed right now? Okay, so we're gonna write down our skill sets and our background like chronologically, so that we can all assess where we are at compared to each other in a smaller group. Understand where our blind spots or where we would like to maybe bring in more, let's say, talent potentially. What else do we need to do? Tier list our potential clients, maybe like examples. It doesn't need to be like many names. Um, what else?
Well, yeah, I mean, I one of my, I mean, it's a homework thing for me anyway, because I just started working with a friend of mine, and she created a studio for like a whole bunch of really like kick-ass women, people in the movement,
Nice.
and having a portfolio of work that we've all done.
Cool.
And so like I think maybe pulling together a portfolio of like key projects, because let's say if we were to have a website similar like to like what she did, that we have like the specific things that we can then point to that we've all contributed to, that would be help for creating leverage, um in terms of like what if we're going to be pitching ourselves, then we can show like this is what we've done, so it gives us credibility for the work that we've done. So yeah, I think every person can contribute at least one thing that they would add as like a part of a portfolio of projects that we've done. Yes, and some of it's individually, and some of us have worked together already, so we can obviously point to that. So I definitely see that. And then I guess there would be the development of a website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some kind of landing page
Like
to
a landing page.
to use that as a portfolio slash a link to share quickly for anyone who would be our potential client. And do
I
you
think the big thing is that, though, if we are, as we're bringing in new people, like we really do need to be like on the same page.
yeah,
So I don't know if it's like mission, vision, objectives,
truth.
like what is our key core thing that we're all like aligned on in terms of what's bringing us together to like form this guild, so that there's no question. And I think that obviously when it comes to certain projects, maybe some people are going to be like, you know what, and I guess governance model, like how are we making decisions,
Yeah.
as a group, as a guild? Like there's definitely those certain working components that we need to be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we doing sociocracy or holacracy, or like what's our method for decision making as a guild?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
this is going to take, this will take some time, and maybe if we don't get all on a call, maybe there's some other kind of voting model that we have as an interim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you agree that this organization will be more like a DAO structure where it's not hierarchical?
It could be. I
Mhm.
think that, yeah. I know it's kind of hard when you're just starting off, but like getting as many of us on a call as possible.
Mhm.
And then if there was a particular decision to be made about that whoever's not on the call, we have a way of at least factoring them into like making that first decision.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yes, I agree. I wrote this down so that we can share in the group.
Yeah.
If there's anything else that you'd like to discuss today, let me know. Or I think maybe that's enough. We had a productive almost 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
What else we can bounce between each other?
No, I think we've covered quite a lot of ground
Yeah.
so far.
Okay, good. I think we have a good like to-do list slash what to contemplate on and what to maybe discuss on our next meeting or our next group call to figure out the frequency of the calls and figure out how much time we're actually giving to this and energetically, because for me this somehow has become a little bit more of like I don't know, I just see potential here. I have to be honest.
Yeah, there's definitely potential. I think the idea of really being able to package the work that we have done for a while as weavers and be able to like expand upon it into something that actually has weight to it and could be also something that could be recognized, because like how many people, like, not, the idea of weaving is still think we're still a very small percentage, because some people don't even necessarily recognize themselves as like a weaver.
Yeah.
They may just call themselves, I'm a super connector, or have some other type of
Yeah.
word that they use for describing their work. And then I think that we could potentially be, there's something from this, I think, that interesting.
Yeah, and I always
for
question
what we can develop.
Branding, question communications, question like how this is positioned. And that's why for me, again, it is very important to understand what the kind of value we're giving and what kind of visions that we're bringing to life. What are we really working on here? Why we are uniting, and then from that selling point to go to these potential clients to sell them on that dream, to show them that this is our consistent work over a period of years, and now we are uniting to make even more ambitious dreams to come to life with more ambitious clientele, let's say. Okay, I think that's it.
Yes.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much for the call. Let's end the recording.